Welcome to At the Table with Chef Jay, the podcast where we believe that every meal has a story and every story has a seat at the table. I'm your host, Chef Jay, and today we are embarked on a culinary journey through the heartwarming realm of cherished memories and delectable dishes. In each episode, we dive into the nostalgic world of our guests' favorite childhood foods, from the confident aroma of Grandma's kitchen to the sizzle of a beloved family recipe. We're here to unravel the tales behind the tastes that linger in our hearts. Today, our guest is Frederick and Vontae Hogsett. And let's talk a little bit about your background. You and Vontae, I want you guys to tell me a little bit about your background, what you enjoy doing.
Okay.
And we would love to hear from you.
Well, I'm a financial advisor. I do basically financial services, and I help people with earning more income, make sure they're probably protected, getting out of debt, and being financially independent. My wife's also licensed as well, but she's also a photographer.
Oh, good. Okay, Ms. Vontae, you want to tell us anything about you?
Well, as they said, I do photography, and I love particularly doing outdoor photography and just capturing the moment. I do storytelling.
I love it, I tell you. And those are important. Of course, financial is definitely important to us, just as a human race, knowing about our finances, how to use them, and I love what you guys do. And of course, a woman of my own heart, I love photography. I love, she likes taking pictures of outdoors, and I enjoy taking pictures of food, and I love beautiful table sets, escapes, and sets. So thank you for that. Thank you for joining us this evening. And I want you to tell us about the story behind your dish and what the dishes that you're going to be doing.
Okay, well, this is, my mom is, her name's Monetta Wilbur. She'll be turning 76 January 3rd, and she raised 3 boys and 1 girl by herself. So we had, we had pork and beans a lot, but one of the menus we had all the time was neck bones and noodles.
I love that. When he told me, first of all, when I asked him, I said, I want you guys to be on my podcast. And he said, oh, I got a great dish, neck bones and noodles. And I definitely want him to be on it because I really want to see how he put this dish together and also to taste it. Thank you for coming here and Vontae. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
So show us a little bit about it and tell us a little bit about the story.
Well, the first thing is the neck bone. So you figure you got 3 boys and a girl. So you can get, back in the 70s probably, now today this costs $9.90 for 5 pounds. So back in the 70s, this probably cost what, maybe $3, $4 for a neck bone. So a pack of noodles back then might cost maybe 50 cents. Today it's about $2. Right. So even if you add in today's dollars, you're talking about maybe $11 to $12 for a meal for 4 or 5 people. Yeah,
see, he's doing that financial thing on us right now. Okay? I love it. I love it because we definitely learn how to spend our pennies, count our dollars, okay, and keep them in our pocket. Thank you. I love that he is adding the numbers to it. Can you believe that? I love that. Awesome. Okay, show us how to put them together.
All right, so the first thing I did was I rinsed them off real well in the sink, and then as I'm rinsing them, I'm cleaning them at the same time. So I have a strainer in there, and you're just doing not the deep clean, but just a surface clean. Gotcha. And then once you get them out the sink, what I do is I try to cut most of the fat off so it's not in your pot. So you have to strain it off later. So I'll cut like these pieces off. You can use a regular knife. You can use a bigger knife when you get to some of the harder pieces. But I'll cut little pieces like this off. And if it's, a piece that takes a little bit more work, like this piece right here, fat right there, I might take my bigger knife and I'll cut that edge off of my cutting board so I can get rid of it.
Now, did you watch your mom put this dish together?
No, we just come home and eat. I would come home from track practice. Right. But, as I became a teenager, Mom worked 2 jobs and I was the oldest. So I had to do most of the cooking. Right. So I picked up from watching her doing the cooking, and so I prepared meals for the 3 kids.
Awesome. I love it. I love it.
But once you clean them, the other part about cleaning them is you gotta think about who you're preparing it for. Okay. If it's just for you, you can leave them whole. Like you can leave a whole neck bone. If it's for like a family, what I did for the one we show here, I broke up what I could. Like we got a lot of meat on this one. So to make it stretch, cut that meat off of there, and now you got 2 pieces out of 1. Some of these you can't cut through the bone unless you have a saw or you have a hammer and a knife, and you can break your knife trying to cut through this. So it's good to just cut these extra pieces of meat off, or when you buy the pack, look for a pack that has smaller pieces if you're going to be feeding a lot of people, because everyone wants a piece of meat inside of their bowl.
Right, and that's neck bone.
Right, because you got about 3 boys, we're going to fight over the meat.
And there's plenty of meat on these bones, though. Right. Like very good.
There's a nice big chunk right there.
Yeah, I've never.
So you can break this up. And sometimes you can grab it by the cartilage, like this one here. Sometimes you get 2 of these together, that same bone, and you can just break them in half or cut them in half.
God, I love this dish. I really thought it was so amazing. Okay, so this shows how it was.
So after you clean the fat off, you again take the knife and clean off of what you can, and then you rinse it again.
Okay.
And you set it aside, clean your hands, of course. I don't have a sink here, but I'm going to do it real fast here.
Okay.
So the next step I do is I put a little oil in my pot, and I cut my onions. And I cut them and I dice them. This is a half of onion. I did a half with the one prepared, so this is the other half. Okay. I would basically skin it. You can either dice it and then cut it, or just cut it straight and then dice it yourself if you know how to do that. Okay. Put that in the oil, and then also I put a little garlic in mine. So I have garlic cloves. I'll take the skin off of these, of course. Put it in my garlic tube. Put maybe 2 small ones in there like that size right there. And then I'll take it, squeeze it, and put that, you know, scrape it off and put that in the oil too. Okay. That just gives you like some flavor to cook the actual meat in, and actually give the noodles flavor too as well.
Now, did your mom put garlic in?
She just did the basic salt and pepper and onions.
And that was way back in the day. You know, we have all the different seasons. My pantry just full of all kinds of seasons, but they just used salt and black pepper and had a great taste and great flavor. Yeah, okay, so
what I do is I put salt, of course, in the water. I'll put regular pepper, and I use like a Loray's, or this is the Food Line seasoning salt, same ingredients. And I'll put seasoning salt in there as well. And then put the, after the onions and the garlic simmers a little while and browns, basically you're making your own little roux almost, you know, without the flour, but you got that seasoning going. So then there's 2 things you can do. I don't brown my neck bones. Okay. You could brown them first and then add the water. I just put them in straight like this, straight just like they are. I put them in the water and I leave enough water above them, maybe 2-3 inches, to help boil the neck bones. So you boil the neck bones for about 15 minutes. And you turn your fire down to a simmer, and once you do that, you have to skim it. So I'll use a skimmer like this, and I'll skim all that brown fat off the top of it. And then another secret I tell everybody is use a big enough pot, because a lot of it will boil up and be on the sides of the pot. So you can get a paper towel or a towel, and you could actually just scrape the sides of the pot and get all that brown broth and stuff off of it, because you don't want that in the actual final product.
And that's why I'm picking up from you that I like that you're a clean cook. You know, you make sure everything's nice and clean. I'm meticulous like that. And especially my husband, he's very meticulous. So we make sure that everything is nice and clean, environment, and that you clean your food. I love that.
I used to be a restaurant manager. So.
Okay, see, I can tell.
So DHEC is not my, you know, it's not your friend when you don't have a clean kitchen.
Right. Well, this shows that you're very clean when it comes to your food. Okay.
Thank you. So after you get it boiling and you clean it, you put it on simmer, and at least about 1.5 hours. There's cartilage in this meat. If you want to do it longer, the cartilage would actually break down, and you can use it later for like a soup broth.
Oh, that's a great
but I use about 1.5 hours because I want the meat to stay on the bone. I don't want my meat to fall off the bone. So I want to be able to pick it up and play with it when I'm eating the final product. But you can let the meat fall off if you want to. And then once you have it going, today I did about 1.5 hours. Then after that, I'll bring the water to a boil again, and then I'll add my noodles. Now, some people will take the meat out and then cook the noodles and then add their meat again. I think the more flavor, the better. I don't want my noodles to have a bland taste. I want to have the taste in the meat and the seasonings. So I'll go ahead and have enough water extra already in there. Because I don't want to add any water and drown the flavor. I want the same water to be what I boil the noodles in. So I have a 12-ounce pack of noodles. It can be any brand. I get the wide egg noodles because they're easy to pick up with a fork. So I get the wide egg noodles. Plus, they stretch longer. My youngest daughter is 20, but when I was raising her, this is one of her favorite meals.
I love it.
She loved the noodles with neck bones. And you know, it was easy for me to make. It was cheap. You know, I could set it, forget it for 1.5 hours, come back and throw my noodles in for 10 minutes. And then every now and then I'm shaking, I'm stirring the noodles. And you want to make sure the noodles don't stick. So you want to stir your noodles every now and then, kind of get that flavor around. I cook them more like al dente, where it's still kind of firm. Because that hot water is going to still cook it if you're not going to eat it right away. Like if you're cooking this while the kids are at school, you're not going to eat it right away, so you can just let it sit in the hot water again until you cook it. So at the end, you can, as course as we all do, you can taste it as you go. Get a tasting spoon. You need a little more salt, you can add it. You need a little more pepper, you can add it, and you can season it to taste. What I brung too, I mean, you can just do it any way you want. This is like a better than bouillon. It's like a bouillon. I've just started using this recently for some cabbage, and it was really good. But you can add, if you wanted to not do the onions, add onion powder, or you could add pepper flakes. If you like it a little spicier, you know, you can add onion powder, garlic, whatever you want to add.
Right.
But I just basically do salt and pepper. I don't do anything else to it. My daughter likes this seasoning called Slap Your Mama, you know, but you can do anything you want because it's your personal recipe. And then once it's done, you basically just scoop out what you want. It's really good as anything the second day. Like spaghetti.
That sounds good, yes.
Because that's just to just sit in that seasoning all day in that refrigerator. Next thing you take it back out. Some of the keys is leave enough water so you can cook your noodles in the same water. You don't want to have to add any water. You can always take some water out, your final product. The one I did today was just right. I didn't take too much water out, so I didn't have to lose any flavoring. I didn't have to add any water because your noodles are going to soak up some of that water too. It's also good to leave some of that broth in there, that water, because when you put it in the fridge, take it out for leftovers, you can just take a little small portion and put it in a small pot and reheat it or throw it in the microwave if you're at work.
I like something he talked about how sometimes they eat it with his fingers, okay? So that was very interesting to me. So you think about a soup, a noodle, and a nice meat just all kind of blend together with a nice broth. I just think that's very heartwarming, and I think that just shows love to, way mom is to, marinate that meat and get it just right and boil it just right. I just love it. And does Vontae ever had it? Vontae, you eat it?
She doesn't eat meat that much.
Oh, well, okay, that's right. So she probably, what do you eat broth? The broth of it, no?
No, we haven't. Yeah.
Okay, good. Okay, well, at least, she missed some good things.
She might grab some of those.
That's right. I know, each is all. We understand that completely. So I will also talk to you. I understand that you kind of like a coach for track. We was talking one day, me and his lovely wife, and I found that you teach track. Tell us a little bit about that.
So I'm an assistant coach at Heathwood Hall Episcopal School here in Columbia. It's a private school. And one of my church members is the head coach. We're both in the same area, Missouri. Ran against each other in high school, didn't even know it. But he found out I ran in college and he asked me if I wanted to help. So we just won our third consecutive state cross-country championship.
Awesome.
And we have 2 track championships in a row we're going for this year. So
good.
He's a Hall of Fame coach. He's been doing very well there, but I've been there now 5 years.
Awesome.
It's been a pleasure to mentor the girls and see them go off to college and still call me, and, and get advice and everything. Gives the chance to get involved with the girls and just be like an extra uncle or extra dad to them.
I love it. And I just love the stuff because they have so much diversity. They bring it together and just makes it work. And I always tell them how beautiful I think they are together. So we want to thank you guys for joining us, showing us amazing dish. I can't wait to taste it. And we'll see you at the table. Hello and welcome back to At the Table with Chef Jay. Thanks for joining us, Frederick and Vontae. Hogsett. That is a different, I love it. I think I'm gonna get it though. Don't. But the day Frederick and Vontae showed us how to make, which I'm amazed, neck bones and noodles. I just thought when we was talking this conversation a month or so ago, I said, you gotta come on At the Table though. We just gotta try this neck bones and noodles. And he talked about the awesome story of his mom making the noodles with her raising a single parent, 3 boys and a girl. So I'm going to try these neck bones and noodles, and he talked about using hands, so I'm going to experience it all. I'm going to use my fingers. I'm not going to use a fork and knife at all, okay? So I want to get in here to try this. And this is just amazing. I'm just so enthused about this dish for some reason. I don't know if it's cost the fingers or what. Now that is delicious. That meat is inside of that bone, and so I just love it. So tell me, Frederick, right? What does food and family mean to you?
Oh wow, it just means so much. Memories, just the smells bring back nostalgia. Like, Grandma, we were talking earlier about fat back on the stove. Just bring back memories of like your family and just times too, like when all the kids got together. Just the different lessons you learned in life. And we played outside all day. So when we came in to eat, it was a time for everybody to get together and be together as a family.
I love it.
And I just miss that. So that's what food does for me. It reminds me of that nostalgia and about the people from your past that passed down, all the character traits we have today.
I love it. And that's what's about really us being together, staying together. I think we have kind of separated, lost that touch, but we are the ones that will bring that back.
Yes, ma'am.
Vontae, what does food and family mean to you?
So to him, I think of family, especially growing up with my great-grandmother. she was a babysitter for her parents because they were fairly young.
Right.
And just having that moment with her and seeing her cook food and just, I was a test taker.
Yeah.
But also love, because that's kind of how we connected over food.
I
is
love
cooking.
it. I love it. Well, I tell you guys, an amazing couple, and I enjoyed having you on that table. And so this wraps up another episode of At the Table with Chef Jay. I hope you enjoyed the journey through flavors and memories as much as I did. If your taste buds are tingling, your heart is full, there's more to come. But before we say goodbye, don't forget to show some love. Hit that like button. Share the joy with your friends and family. And of course, subscribe. Keep the conversation going on social media. Share your favorite childhood dishes and memories with us. Find us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at the Table Podcast. We love hearing from our listeners. And who knows, your story might just be featured in our upcoming episode. Thank you for joining us at the table today. Until next time, keep the flame alive, savor those memories, and may your kitchen always be filled with laughter and the aroma of something wonderful.